Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is a sound off from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So about the fashions, okay? I thought everybody looked great. I liked the color. I liked that everybody was bright and peachy. I was into it. Collectively, I liked the look. Okay, I love the set of the reunion. I know we ain't there yet, but I love the set. I thought it was beautiful. So I thought that Sheree looked amazing. I love the dress. I love the color. I love the style. I love the hair. Her makeup from head to toe. Sheree looked, she was on point. Okay, I loved it. I loved her look. Kenya's dress was probably my favorite dress. I think Kenya's dress was my favorite. Hands down. Her dress was everything. Her shoes was everything. She looked beautiful. She looked amazing. I did not love her hair. I didn't love her hair. I don't know. I don't know what it was about the hair. It was not bad, but I didn't love it. I wish that she would have went a different route, but her dress was my favorite. Her dress was my favorite, okay? Shout out to you, Kenya. You did that, girl. You did that. Kenny looked good. Like, her dress was cute. Her dress was more pink than it was peach, but it worked. It worked. I love when Candy does the half up, half down hairstyle. I think that's like her look. I didn't really understand the random locks that was in the, but you know what? That she might start a trend. I haven't seen that. So, okay, Candy, do you, girl. Marlo looked great. I love the dress. It was different. It's not what I expected her to wear, but it looked really good on her. She looked cute. She had the little sleek, straight, middle part. I don't really like a middle part, but it works for Marlo. So kudos to her. She got first seat. I'm not mad at Marlo. Marlo looked cute. Drew. It wasn't my favorite look. It wasn't my favorite look, but I wasn't mad at it. I felt like, it did what it was supposed to do. She looked cute. The color was great. Like, I'm not mad at Drew. I'm gonna give it to Drew. She did okay. Sonya though, Sonya's dress was my least favorite look out of everybody. I didn't like it. I ain't like it. It's just like, girl, you so slim and so beautiful. Why you chose that dress, girl? I ain't like it. I feel like, ooh, I don't want to do Sonya like that. But yeah, she didn't look bad. I won't say she looked bad, but it just wasn't my favorite look. You've been looking good all season long. It just, her hair and her makeup was on point. But I just didn't like the dress. So I know I be giving Andy the business sometimes, but real life, I really love Andy. He's a Gemini. He's a June Gemini. I'm a June Gemini. So I like my Uncle Andy, even though sometimes he be getting on my nerves, but I do like him. I do love the tradition of him going backstage to talk to the ladies and, trying to gas them up before they come on stage, because they be sitting at them reunions for hours. I do like that. It kind of, you know what I mean, like, this is their boss that they don't really ever see. So I do like those little playful interactions he has with them right before they go out on stage. So Andy wants to know, is there a new bone collector in town? Because, Sheree wasn't the only one collecting bones this season. And they rolled a montage of all the girls and their antics. And it had like a little tally in the corner, and pretty much all you hoes be collecting bones. Now, Drew irritated me at the very start of this reunion because they bring up her throwing the bones at Fatum, and I didn't like that. Yeah, I didn't like that. I don't like the fact that, okay, Drew, you came on to the season starting with Sheree. You come with information on someone and then someone else does it to you. It's like, I don't understand why she was so mad at Fatum. Fatum just beat you at your own game. Recognize that you should maybe not be doing, don't do to somebody something you can't stomach being done to you. And I just can't take Drew. I can't take Drew. Sheree wanted to call Anthony, and Andy was like, let's not call him. And I don't blame Anthony, because I wouldn't be rewarding thirsty behavior either. But it looks like they're gonna be ended up calling him on this part 2 of the reunion. I don't think the reunion was giving, so they probably gonna end up calling him anyways. But child, I guess. So they wrote Sheree's package, and Andy was saying, on the finale episode, he shed a tear. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I did as well, and that might have been because my cycle was, upon me. But I did cry. I really cried, you know. Um, and then I heard about the whole website not working, how she charging people an arm, a leg, and some pinky toes. And it was just like, oh, Sheree. You know what? Carlos King did post that the website is back up, you know. So now y'all can order y'all She by Sheree, whatever you want to do. At this point, I'm just gonna take Sheree for what she is. You know what? Sheree did not sign up to be Candy. She did not sign up to be serial entrepreneur. She did not sign up for, you know, real boss chicks of the ATL. She wanted to be a real housewife of Atlanta. A housewife of Atlanta. She didn't want to be a boss. Now, I personally would love to see Sheree flourish and be, you know, everything that y'all wish for her. But that's just not where she at right now. We just gotta accept that Sheree is just who she is. You know what I mean? Like, nothing will happen before it's supposed to happen. Running a business is not easy, especially like fashion. She ain't cut out for it. She ain't cut out for it. Y'all trying to force this on her. And it's just like, y'all leave Sheree alone. Y'all leave Sheree alone. If she ain't got it, she just ain't got it. Just leave her alone. The website is up and running. If y'all want to order She by Sheree, go ahead and order She by Sheree. I mean, I don't know. People was really dogging Sheree, and it was just like, do y'all want her to be successful, or y'all just want to have something to say? Because I feel like people was jumping in on the jokes that don't even really watch the show. She by Sheree got more attention and more jokes than season 14 got views. A lot of y'all was talking shit about She by Sheree, and y'all don't even watch the show. I don't know. But Sheree, I'ma stick beside you, girl. I'ma stick beside you because you know you were OG on this show. And, you know, she ain't the only one that's like that. Sonia Morgan went through her own shit. At least, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. So Andy asks Candy about the shade that she's been throwing She by Sheree. And she was like, well, I support She by Sheree, but she was throwing shade at me as well. And Sheree was like, when did I throw shade at you? And I feel like the shade that I don't know. I really wouldn't say that Sheree was throwing Candy shade. Did she do a little, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. I'm like, maybe she did throw you a little shade. Candy's example was weak. I'm sorry. I feel like that was weak. I feel like that was Marlo coming for you. That really wasn't Sheree. Sheree was just kind of like, yeah, girl. She was agreeing with what Marlo was saying, but that's not really her throwing shade at you. That was her just agreeing with what Marlo was saying. She probably didn't want to argue with Marlo. I don't feel like she really added too much to it. Now, when Marlo was saying you weren't a good friend, she kind of was on that as well. But I don't feel like it's what Candy was giving her. Like, Candy, you were throwing shade at her as well in your confessionals. You were sitting up there talking about her and Tyrone and She by Sheree. You got your Don Juan trolling Sheree, like trolling her. Not just throwing shade, but trolling her actively. Even today as we speak, he is coming for her and She by Sheree. I don't feel like that's the same, but whatever. Sheree is like, girl, you've been talking about me. You using me over there on Speak On It, but I'm good clickbait. And then Candy's like, you think I need you for clickbait? Maybe you don't need her, but you've been talking about her. So I really didn't understand why they asked Sheree why she's been shading Drop It with Drew. Because everybody's been shading Drop It with Drew. All of the ladies have sat there and made jokes and made little remarks about Drop It with Drew. Why we just asking Sheree? Like, why y'all set that in Sheree's lap? I ain't get that, but whatever. So we get a viewer question asking, why do Candy like to bring off-camera topics onto the show and throw people under the bus with certain information? And, you know, they reference Dennis and his tattoos, Phaedra dating somebody outside of Apollo, And Sheree, how did Sheree pay for her house? She gets annoyed because she didn't like this question. You didn't answer the question, Candy. You didn't answer the question that was asked. And she was like, well, if I'm responding to what somebody says about me, how is that throwing someone under the bus? But it was like, you ain't listened to the question then, good, Candy, because he said Dennis's tattoos. Dennis ain't do nothing to you. Dennis and his tattoos that was not bothering you, Candy, when you did what you did. Even Portia, maybe you wanted to get your lick back with Portia, so it's gonna be forever you coming for Portia. But maybe you should just answer that and say that's what it is. I'm forever gonna be trying to get my lick back when it comes to Portia and Phaedra because of what they did to me. But his tattoos did not bother you. How was you responding to Dennis's tattoos? And then they also mentioned Sheree and how did she pay her house. And she's trying to say that it was Tyrone paying for Sheree's house. We want to know, right? She was saying it on her Speak On It. And again, like, yes, Sheree was being a messy. Yes, Sheree was being, she was co-signing some of what Marlo was saying, but I don't feel like she wasn't asking questions about you, Candy. She ain't say, why did your restaurant get shut down by the health department? Now, if she was doing that, I could understand why you would be doing, saying the things that you're saying about Sheree. But I feel like you coming for Sheree, it's like, it was corny to me because I don't feel like Sheree was really coming at you. Like, she's sitting up there giving a nod and like, yeah. Okay. So Marlo takes this opportunity to get something off her chest. Now, we have all heard the story about how Candy had got Marlo her own show on WeTV. And Marlo is not great at articulating herself. She's not great at landing her point. If you say too much, you confuse her. And I think when Candy started over talking her, I don't feel like Marlo's point landed the way that it was supposed to. But pretty much what I gathered from this little conversation here was, yes, Marlo was not on the show for a couple of years after her fallout with Nene, right? So Candy decides, hey, I'm going to help Marlo get her own show. She gets everything put together, and then it didn't end up going through. Whatever happened. It did not work out. We all know Funky Diney was supposed to be a part of this show, and he was big mad at Marlo for a very long time. He probably still mad at her. Who knows? But what Marlo was saying pretty much was, yeah, you got me this show, or Todd got me this show, but when I looked at the contract, it wasn't going to work for me. What they were asking, what they were offering, it wasn't going to work for me. And I'm going to believe Marlo. Marlo at that point had already done 3 seasons over at Bravo. And what WeTV was offering her, it probably was not going to be worth it. We all know about WeTV and Tamar Braxton's situation. Tamar had to, we know what happened to Tamar. The lengths that she went to get out of her WeTV contract. I believe Marlo that the contract was terrible. I believe her. I don't care. Because everyone was talking about Marlo messed up herself because she was making too many demands for a first season show. I'm on Marlo's side on this because, like I said, Marlo's already done TV. She was over at Bravo. She know what her contract's supposed to look like. Whatever they presented to Marlo, it didn't look right. Marlo was correct. Don't be sitting up here talking about I got her own show. And you were gonna get a producer credit. Todd was gonna get producer credit, but Marlo would have been locked in a terrible ass contract. That's not something to flag. He was getting loud with Marlo. It is extremely annoying. Like, Candy, first of all, nobody even sweating what the fuck Marlo talking about. Nobody cares what Marlo is saying. Oh, Candy's a bad friend. Nobody cares that she's saying this stuff about you. Nobody cares that she's saying any of this about you, Candy. Like, you're really getting worked up and you're getting upset. And it's like, nobody's really pressing you about who you help and who you don't help. I don't think nobody cares. No one even is paying attention to what Marlo's talking about. But anyways, now I will say one thing about Marlo that irritated me is when she kept trying to say Todd was the one that helped her because he's the one that's in production and not Candy. That irritated me because it's like, girl, Todd and Candy are a unit. Okay, if Todd wants to do something with you and Candy says no, it ain't gonna happen. So I ain't really like that too much, Marlo. You tried it with that one. Like, girl, don't be stupid. When she was like, oh, well, it was Todd. Why would I go to you? Like, stop it. Stop it, Marlo. Stop it. Anyways, back to Sheree. Sheree and her little fake relationship with Martell. I don't care nothing about that. So I really don't even want to get into that conversation. I don't really care about it. I don't feel like it's real. If it is real, Sheree, what is you doing, sis? Like, I don't think it's real. I don't think it's real. I'm just not even gonna waste my energy on that. That shit ain't real. Okay, so they run Sonya and Drew's struggle friendship package. And pretty much my takeaway from this was Sonya did not have a real reason to not like Drew, but sometimes people just don't like each other. In these type of shows, the way that it's set up, you can't really use that as an excuse, especially when you the newbie and you need a connection to the group. So I feel Sonya's pain, but I think it's okay if you don't like Drew, you don't like Drew, because I can't fucking stand Drew. But where Sonya lost me through the season is I did not like how she had a conversation with her mom about it, and her mom was like, Drew don't want none of this. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I did not like that. And I like Sonya a lot. Before the show, I liked Sonya. And this is the very reason I didn't want her to be on this damn show. But anywho, I didn't like her family's involvement. I didn't like how she was sitting around in a circle with her mom, her sister, her dad, and they're talking shit about Drew. I didn't like that. As much as I don't like Drew, I did not like seeing that. As a Housewife fan, I didn't like seeing that. Like, you didn't, it was too much for why? Like, you didn't like how she was moving. You didn't like how she was coming for Sheree. That wasn't your style. I understood that. Even as much as she tried to explain how they had a conversation and how Drew was lying. I do think Drew was lying. I do think she was lying. I do think that, look, Sonya, you well within your right to dislike the bitch. You are. It's just the way you went about it. Like, I think people should just be able to be honest, though, and just say, look, I had to find a way to shake this bitch. I ain't like her, and I ain't want to be her friend. And that should be enough. But because this is Housewives, you can't really do that. Yeah, I felt for Sonya, because you look dumb, girl. You looked real dumb trying to explain why you didn't like her. Well, all you should have just said is, I didn't like the girl's vibe. My heart didn't take her. It should have been that, and that should have really been it. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so they roll Marlo's Monty package, right? And I got a lot of opinions on this. Let me tell you, I was in tears watching this, and I was in tears watching Marlo talk about herself. Like, I think the last video that I actually filmed, I was saying how much I was irritated with Marlo always bringing up that she's a foster kid, but it really did have me in tears. It really had me in my emotions, y'all. This is the thing with Marlo. It's been a reoccurring thing with Marlo, like, right? So Marlo feels abandoned. She feels rejected. She lashes out. She feels abandoned. She feels rejected. She lashes out. Since she stepped on the scene, right? She came in. She was cool with Phaedra. She was cool with Candy. Had a falling out with Candy. Her mugshots dropped, and we found out about her, you know, her criminal past and what she had done to people. And nobody wanted to touch Marlo. Nene picked her up and said, girl, you my sister, girl. I got you. We're good. After Nene's wedding special, but before season 6, Nene kind of dropped her as well. Nene dropped her. Kenya picked her up. I don't think Kenya knew what she was signing up for by being friends with Marlo. I don't think she really understood. Season 6, remember when Nene rejected Marlo and Marlo was chasing her around the little baseball field or wherever they were at, and she was yelling at Nene, and then she broke down and she started crying into Kenya's arms. I think Kenya was trying to be a good friend. I think she was trying to be cool, but I don't think Kenya truly signed up for the emotional load, I would say, that comes along with being Marlo's friend. We know they had a falling out. At least the story, the word on the curb was Kenya's birthday was coming up. She ended up not inviting Marlo, but she did invite Nene, who Nene and Marlo were not on good terms. And Marlo been on her neck ever since. Marlo been lashing out at Kenya ever since. Now, I do feel like when Kenya became cool with Marlo season 6, it was a little bit of a FU to Nene. But the thing about it is, it was kind of like once Marlo went over to play with Kenya, Nene said, you can't come back over here to me. And then when Kenya kind of dropped her too, it was like, well, it was some seasons that we did not see Marlo. And I think Marlo, instead of being, I mean, she was mad at Nene, but I think the anger, the brunt of the anger, she was mad. Like, she was mad at Kenya. Because it was like, okay, I was playing over there petty with you, and now I really can't come back to the show. So I know I said I was tired of hearing Marlo say, oh, I'm a foster child, but I think I'm starting to understand what she means. Like, we are not all dealt the same cards. I think I'm more like Candy. My mama was like a Mama Joyce. If you try me, you have to deal with her. Okay? My mama will take off her earrings behind me. That's the type of mama that I had. I had a Mama Joyce kind of mama. That's why I love Mama Joyce, okay? A lot of us who have moms like that, you know what I mean? It's really hard. Sometimes we don't always realize that everyone didn't have a mama like ours. And I think that's where Candy's at too. Like, she kind of probably forgets. Because she even said it in the last episode. Like, her mama be doing a lot. But she wouldn't trade her for nothing. And I felt that. I know exactly what she meant by that. Marlo looks at people like Candy. She looks at Portia. She looks at all these women. And they all have that in common. They all have somebody, you know, who would take their earrings off behind them. Kenya may not have had her mother, but she had her aunt and she had her grandmother. And her grandmother always wanted her. Marlo never had that. To hear her say at 10 years old, her mom was on drugs. She lived in a drug house. She was getting beat. She ran away from home at the age of 10, and that was it. That was it. And then for her to also say her mother didn't really have a mother. So she can't even really be too mad at her mom for her mom's shortcomings. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that broke my heart. Because I don't know that. I don't know that kind of life. Like, I don't know how that has to feel terrible. Like, for her to say, as a grown woman, I want my mom, and she still doesn't get how I feel. That really hurt my feelings. Like, I felt so bad for Marlo in that moment. Marlo does have that hard exterior. Like, she's obnoxious sometimes. She's so annoying, but she really is in pain. But yeah, these last 2 episodes, I feel like I learned a lot. I understand Marlo a lot more than I ever have because, yeah, she been through it. And you could see Kenya sitting there, like, rolling her eyes, getting irritated. And I understand, like, if someone has hurt you, you don't want to hear their sob story. I totally get it. I get it because Marlo has hurt Kenya. But I think what bothers me is I feel like Kenya has had several opportunities to explain what Marlo has done to hurt her. And to be very honest, if I was Kenya, I don't think I would be friends with Marlo again. I would never fuck with Marlo. Like, I don't blame Kenya if she never, ever talks to Marlo again. But what Kenya does that I don't like is, you have been given the floor to express yourself and to say, hey, this is what you did to me. I'm not accepting that in my life. I don't want your toxic love. I'm here with Kenya when she says that. But what I don't like is, I don't like that Kenya does not allow Marlo to do the same. The moment Marlo starts to express herself and make a little bit of sense, she starts talking loud, she shuts Marlo down. She shuts her off. Like, wait, we're not going to do that. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Let the lady express herself so y'all could be done with it once and for all. When she said to you, if a person's mother don't want anything to do with them, then you know something is wrong. That was unfair for her to say, because clearly Kenya didn't do nothing wrong. That lady never wanted her from birth. A baby, an infant didn't do nothing wrong. So that was unfair for Marlo to say. She was wrong for that shit. But Marlo knew that shit would hurt her because she know what because she hurt herself. So she knew how to hurt Kenya. The bitch is hurt. Shit. And if Kenya never wants to talk to Marlo again, I ain't gonna be mad at her for that. I will totally understand. But I also need Kenya to understand that you also hurt Marlo. Kenya done called her a convict with a lisp. I'm an icon, you're an ex-con. She done said, you know, she got a square reader between her legs. When Marlo says, you know, you've said things that have also hurt me, except that you did hurt her. You may think it's superficial. You may think it doesn't mean anything, but you don't know this woman's triggers. And I don't like the fact that anytime Marlo tries to express that, Kenya shuts her down, because that's also not fair. I don't know what happened to Marlo, but I can only imagine if she was in foster care from age 10 until she aged out of the system, and then she finds herself later on in life doing sex work. I mean, do the math. So if you're calling her a whore, a prostitute, you're saying she got a square reader between her legs, that might hurt her in a way that you might not be thinking it hurt her. She said it hurt her. It did. And you don't have to take that on. Because look, when two people fighting, nobody is going to give no compliments, okay? Nobody is going to say, you're not going to say nothing nice. If she said something rude to you, you got to get her up off you. I understand. But the same way that you have been allowed to express that she has hurt you, she should be also allowed to say, hey, well, you've hurt me when you did X, Y, and Z. And it's not right for you to say, oh, girl, come on, whatever. No, you can't, oh, girl, come on, out of that. If you hurt her, you hurt her. If she hurt you, she hurt you. That's the one thing about Kenya that I did not like in this exchange. Agree. Okay, yeah, I said those things to hurt you, bitch, because you hurt me. When Marlo's mom came to meet Candy at the showroom, and she starts to bring up her man, and Marlo said, she not asking me about no man. I don't want to hear nothing about no man. That tugged at my heart, because if it's one thing I don't like, I can't stand a mama that puts a man before her children. I don't like them type of people. I'm judging. I'm gonna judge you. When Marlo said that, like, girl, you just got here and you asking me about a man. It's like, I wonder, girl. I think there's a lot more to Marlo's story, and I'm not gonna just even speculate on it, but that really touched me when she said that. I felt like, ooh, I think Marlo's probably gone through some things that would have taken a lot of us out of here. Like, I don't think I could have survived Marlo's life. I don't think I could have. Like, and when I respect people like that, I really do. When somebody survives something that most people would not have, it's like, you ain't gotta like them, you ain't gotta rock with them, but me, I'ma respect them. I'ma respect her a little bit. The fact that she could go through all what she went through, make the mistakes that she went through, and still put her best foot forward and say, I'ma still try to make something in this life, I'm not mad at it, because lesser things have taken people out of here. So, I don't know. I know y'all don't like Marlo. I know Marlo ain't everybody bad book. But when I tell you, like, Marlo had me crying, she had me in my feelings. She really, really did. Because it's like, damn, sometimes you really, I know I talk shit, okay? I be on this channel. I be on Twitter. I talk shit. But sometimes you really do got to be mindful of the things that you say to people, because you just never know. Like, you meant it to just be a dig. You meant to just be a little insult, but you don't never know how your words land on people. Like them saying that, you know, correcting her speech and saying, oh, girl, you said that word wrong. You pronounced that word wrong. You know, early development in life, she did not have parents. The girl pretty much was raising her. She was a middle child raising her younger siblings, when she probably should have been put in speech therapy. Who was there to do that for her? Nobody. So it's like, I ain't trying to put that weight on Kenya, Candy, nobody that's ever gotten into an argument with Marlo. I'm not trying to put that on anyone. It just made me look at myself and say, damn, sometimes, you know, think about what you say to people. Be a little mindful, because you just never know what you're saying to someone, where it's going to land. You just don't ever know. you don't. Sometimes you don't care because the person coming for you, and if you got to get them up off you. So I get it. But yeah, that's my sound off. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.